Like, I don't think anyone should be hating on anyone at this time anyway, but like,
It's not hate. It's just understanding complete stupidity. Like, okay, we talk about someone, and even if it's a friend, we would tell.
මං සින්දුවක් කියලා පටන් ගන්න දෙනවා.
කියන්න.
නාමල් මිටක් ස්තුතෝතින්නර. Yeah, that's it. That completely ruined my vibe that I had going. Anyway, welcome to the Street Twins show. You are with Chanura and Menura again. This is our fourth video? Yes, this is our fourth video. And we hope, you guys have seen our videos before.
Cheers.
If you haven't, you can always go back and check them out. But, just keep watching this first. Subscribe, like, and follow us on our platforms. They will be down below in our bio section. Is it a bio section on YouTube? What is it called on YouTube? Just the description section on YouTube. And yes, today we are here to talk about what, Menura? Man, what were you drinking before, by the way?
It's tea in a glass viduru. In a viduru. Not a glass viduru.
Why are you such a weird? Why are you drinking tea in a glass?
That's my new thing.
Dilma there?
Huh?
That's Dilma, right? Not like shitty English breakfast stuff.
No, it's not Dilma. It's Nerada. Nerada.
What Sri Lankan does not drink Dilma tea?
What are you drinking?
What
are you
drinking? Original Dilma tea made by Chanura, again in a glass.
Okay. For those of you who will watch the whole show, and I'm sure some of you will, we are going to talk about the COVID-19 situation and some of the things that relate to that. That's our main topic. Stay tuned for that. We'll eventually get to it. Obviously.
Before you click away right now, it's not going to be just another thing that you know about COVID-19. We are basically talking about not anything else. We are talking about how it started, where it started from, how it spread around the world, and day-to-day rumors that we are hearing about COVID-19. And as you know, if you've watched our episodes, we are not going to stick to that topic. We are people who can't keep our concentration on one topic. We are probably going to talk about so many other things as well.
Dude, coronavirus has been there for a while.
I know. Exactly.
But COVID-19, this whole thing started in the Chinese market in Wuhan. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that is how exactly it happened. But all right, there are some common misconceptions that this COVID-19 was born through an animal in this market, that came through a dead animal or an exotic animal in the market. All right. So, and in the time of last year, December, around the last week of December, and I think it was December 31st to be exact, China reported to who? Not who?
Who?
WHO, the World Health Organization, saying that there is an unusual cluster of pneumonia patients around this particular market in Wuhan, which was called the Hanan Seafood Wholesale Market. I should say it that way. I should probably not say it that way. That's what I want to talk about, how it actually spread from one country to another country, because that was where everyone had their debates on, this is what China did. China is the one who wanted this to be done to everyone in the world. You know what Australia is doing right now, like where we live, Australia, they have filed a lawsuit against China because they feel like China should be responsible for this.
So because
honestly, there's two ways to look at it.
The bigger story here is, bro, because there's another side of things that the people believe, that's saying that this was human engineering that happened in two laboratories in Wuhan, where they actually did do coronavirus on bats or something, and then they have engineered this whole issue.
So it was not done like that. I mean, that's far as we know.
It's not a lawsuit. It's not a lawsuit. It's an inquiry on China.
No. It's a suit. They're gonna file a suit. Against human.
Right now they are asking support from countries to help them to file a suit. And right now, I think around 60 countries have said they're willing to support in order to file.
Is it 60 or 16?
60.
Which is where you tend to think, all right, you know what? Maybe when people started getting ill, China should have not allowed people to travel.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where this whole
So hold on.
China should pay for.
The patient zero thing. Who's patient zero? Is it the lady from Thailand or?
No. Patient zero is obviously the first guy who got ill. He was in his 60s. He was from Wuhan.
Yeah. Okay.
And he showed pneumonia kind of symptoms. He was the first patient.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's exactly like, have you watched the film Contagious?
Yeah,
I watched
it. I watched it
Honestly,
after all this happened. So
yeah, exactly.
Everyone was watching it. Do you know
Yeah,
Contagious? Contagion, right? Contagion was never popular. It had like, I think it almost bombed.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah,
I've never seen it
bombed
before.
in
It had
box
a huge
office.
cast.
It bombed almost in box office when it came out. But when all of this happened, it was the 9th most watched film, and the highest the box office ratings just went up on that. So it was the 9th biggest film at
I don't know
one
if you
point
can
in
put
February.
a clip of. I don't know if you can put a clip or anything of Contagion here, but I'll explain the first part of how Contagion, if you haven't seen it, and I highly recommend everyone to go watch this film. The first part, if you remember, it actually starts for people who haven't seen it, and if you have seen it as well, it actually starts in like a market area, where Gwyneth Paltrow and this other guy
Jude Law
is talking. No, I don't think it was Jude Law. No, it wasn't Jude Law. No, it was this random guy. I don't know if it's because she was cheating on some. I don't know. Anyway, but like it was this random guy. He was no, it was just someone, like she was having dinner with a few office colleagues in this restaurant, and apparently the chef had it, and it went through. But in that film, it shows it came from an animal, and something like that came from a monkey or something. But no, that was a different film.
What are you talking about?
No, that's a different film. Because I think Australia was one of the first countries to actually put restrictions on traveling and all that. Declared it as a pandemic at first.
That's pretty much wrong. South Korea was the country that Australia took all the advice from. So they pretty much copied everything that South Korea did. And Singapore
which at the start most people thought, like including myself, and I'll be really honest, thought was really an overreaction to the situation, where it shouldn't have been called a pandemic by the Prime Minister. Like I think we spoke about this as well.
I remember you coming and telling me,
it was
like,
really stupid. Yeah,
it's
not a big deal.
It's just
off. No, but the truth is, if he did not do it at that point, like if he did not declare it as a pandemic, people wouldn't have taken it seriously, except for the whole toilet issue thing, which is another conversation altogether, which shouldn't have happened. But
the hoarding,
because it was declared as a pandemic, like there was restrictions on traveling, which is a good thing. It avoided people coming into the country who already had this sickness, which is where Italy failed, which is where most of the European countries failed, and that's how it spread throughout Europe. Which Europe is probably the worst. Cases came through there. The most deaths are in Europe towards that side, and even in the United States, where because of their very genius leader, it's not controlled.
Yeah.
You know what I heard? Like another story, just being another story.
Yeah.
A story that came out today. Donald Trump, like among all this stuff happening in the United States, cases still going on, like people still getting new cases every single day, like a huge number of amount. This guy has gone golfing in the pub, like in public. He's gone golfing in a charity tournament, golfing out of everything else.
That's not surprising at all. No,
Donald Trump.
Typical Donald Trump move.
Anyway, so that's basically how COVID-19 spread around the world, and there are rumors spreading around, like China did this intentionally. China wanted to reduce the population in the world. China did this to collapse the economies of the world, but
I don't think even they imagine if they did so do it. They never imagined probably that it will get this big and this, crazy. I think if they had a problem with the US, yes, definitely they could have done something specifically. But
even intentionally, intentionally doing it, their country
suffered a lot.
suffered a lot as
Like,
well from
why
it. I mean,
would
even though they were the first ones to, the dodgy part for me was they were the first ones to actually open up everything as well, which is
no, but that's completely understandable, right? Because it was their country that started everything. Obviously, they will be the ones who will be going into a shutdown at the start. They'll be the ones who will be implementing and experimenting stuff, because no one else knows what the
yeah.
hell is going on. So obviously, they will be the first ones to come out. It's always there was a point I clearly remember me watching news every day, and I kind of got bored. That's why I was telling you at the start when I was like talking about this topic. There's a point where everyone was super interested in what the hell was going on, because everything was so new, right? So I think around the February period where people were losing jobs, and then everyone,
Yeah.
like, every morning at around 7 o'clock in the morning, there's breaking news happening, and there's the prime minister coming out and saying, everyone was switching on the TV or looking through YouTube, watching that live, the whole 50-minute thing. And in that, they used to always talk about separately about how China is gradually getting better, and the peaks and the curves, which is very important, like the graph where some people are still
Yeah.
playing catch up, where some
Yeah.
people, like, compared to Australia, like Sri Lanka was just starting at that point. And
Yeah.
with Australia compared to stuff like US, Italy, and all of those, they were far ahead.
Yeah.
So as you said, like, they started way before in January,
Yeah.
when Australia started like late January, and Sri Lanka started in February. So, and Africa started even later, and now they're the epicenter, as I said. So, like, China had plenty of time for them to go through a whole, process, and then shut down and then
That's the
start
thing.
again. So there was no dodginess that really showed out. And why would they honestly be, killing their own people in order to make people, like, be the best economy? Like, that's pretty much
That's
crazy.
what surprises me more often, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, now if anything that this quarantine or whatever has taught us, it has to be like we can't really point fingers at anyone in this situation, because it's something that we don't even know how it spread. I mean, we know how it spread,
Yeah.
but like we don't know. We shouldn't be pointing fingers saying, "Yeah, that's that person's fault or that's this person's fault," because at the end of the day, it's people who traveled, people who had families back home who traveled from this part to that part. Not that they were sent to those parts.
Yeah.
You don't know though, because the world is really corrupted. Anything could happen. You don't know. But at the end of the day, it's not about pointing fingers now. It's about going through the procedures and, like, making sure we can come out of it. In saying that, that's not our job, so we'll keep talking and gossiping about it. So what happened, like, as you said, like, if you compare Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka had more cases because of what happened in Italy. There were people who traveled from Italy to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And Italy, keep in mind, Italy only started after Australia. And this is the major point.
Yeah.
Italy, the only problem that they had was they never banned China. The first thing Australia did
They
was
banned China.
ban travel from China and travel to China, and like both ways. Italy didn't do that for a long time. Same with UK, same with all the suffering countries like France and all that, because they didn't ban that part of it. Anyway, boring stuff aside, what happened with Sri Lanka is that Sri Lanka, there were so many people who came from Italy that they have never actually declared that they were in Italy. They never declared their symptoms. And that's why Sri Lanka nowadays, now even like right now, you can find cases coming out like that they never knew where they came from. Because, like, it was people who actually didn't have any sickness.
Yeah, I think even the latest ones, like, I think Sri Lanka, if I'm correct, it's way over, it's over 1,100 cases now.
It's 1,168 or something like that cases.
And like the
it's
recent one was again from overseas travels. So, and then it goes on to like the soldiers and officers and all of those. So
because there were few people in the airport who got the symptoms and, like, were tested positive. At the end of the day, what happens is it creates community transmission, which is what Australia is scared about now, because Australia is very controlled and they're opening up restrictions, easing up restrictions. What the second wave is what people are scared about. But at the end of the day, the second wave should naturally go on, because, like, that's the only way to get, like, make things easier, because there should be some kind of second wave, and that's why they're expecting it.
but
because
there's an important thing that I think the Victorian Premier always says. He said, we only get one shot at this, and he doesn't want a second wave. So actually, I agree with him on that. I think you can actually stop it if we slowly build up to opening the worst case stuff, like gyms and really close and encountering activities. Like if we keep those to until like at least July or August, there's a chance that the second wave actually could be less effective, impacting to the society. Like the community transmissions will be less. That's what you want.
True.
No, you don't
No,
want people
that's
to
what I'm
die.
saying. But
So
in saying that, there is gonna be there has to be some kind of second wave, because
that's
what
what's
we
happening
expect.
right now, right?
I'm not saying second wave as in groups coming through together, but like there will be a second wave that people don't expect.
For
Which
sure.
is
Yeah.
like 14% community transmission part or anything like that. Anyway, like like amid all these COVID-19 things, we have started thinking about, and I think this is a topic that we should get into. We have started thinking about what the future of COVID-19 is going to be. What's the next steps? Because I think we spoke a bit about this in our last video as well. I was reading something really funny about how how cricket is going to be affected because of COVID-19, right? And it was this article about how Mitchell Stark it really doesn't like the new rules put on by the ICC about how after June how cricket is going to evolve. So how this is funny, right?
Okay.
You know how like in cricket where you after you bowl you lick the ball so you get more like like seam in it
Yeah.
when you bowl.
Yeah.
So apparently you can't do that anymore. If you do that, that's ball tampering, right? It's not even like biting anymore. So you can't lick it, or you can't even make it come closer to your face. That sounds so. And like Mitchell Stark wrote this huge thing on Twitter saying like that's outrageous. That doesn't really happen. But at the end of the day, that's kind of true if you think about it in COVID-19 perspectives.
Wait.
Of course, licking the ball.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense, because you're touching the ball and you're passing the ball. You're doing the same thing. Doesn't that come?
Yeah, but like
to the whole.
But the thing is that exactly. There are few there are arguments where you can bring it, like if handshakes are not there, like passing a ball on to another person, that's the same thing. But I don't know what they're gonna do about those. But apparently you can't lick the ball. So
Probably every outfielder will wear like soft thin gloves and pass it on to each other.
No, I don't.
Like
think
a
that will
clown
happen. That will
gloves.
be stupid. ඊට වඩා හොඳයි cricket ගහන්න නැතුව like another rule is once you take a wicket or once you get a wicket, you can't huddle up. No huddling up. You have to have a social distancing 1.5. So like when you take a wicket, like you're hyped up, you bowled him out, you're like
yeah.
You stay there, don't come close to in the bar, in the bar. See the rules that are implemented by like restaurants, even like they took off buffets. So buffets are not going to be a thing anymore, completely out.
And you can only
that's
so in Victoria you can only stay for 20 minutes or something.
Something like that. Is not 20 minutes.
30
I
minutes.
think it's like you have periods. You have periods.
And then you go out, you have to and then new people are supposed to come in, so they have regular business.
Even like pubs and bars.
Imagine, bro, can we go with friends and like up in normal outside normal outdoor hangout center, we go with friends and we go really intense topic and we are having fun and it's like 20 your 20 minutes up,
What are we supposed to do now? Go to another restaurant and spend 20 minutes. But I don't know how many restaurants are going to survive on that, because like most retention is loyal customers and people who come around to spend more time. So like
who goes for like 20 minutes, man? It's not going to go away just because it's 2020, because I think
it's about
what they said is like corona is going to be there for like another disease for the rest of your entirety. So it's just going to be
definitely there. I saw like Burger King, and I don't know like if we can put a picture or something over here, and I hope we can put the picture on, because like Burger King has they put it on Twitter, this image of their new trend about having like a giant size king hat and how to eat like when you order food. It's superb. Like it makes it interesting for the customers, it makes it interesting for the workers at the end of the day. Even restaurants, there was this restaurant, I don't know if it's South Korea, where even every small table is covered up with those plastic covers, where you now have it in every cashier. it's called a plastic plastic cover kind of thing. So they cover it up.
Do you know the new rule? Like you reminded me of something. The new rule with cash is that the whole world is trying to get rid of cash. So all the governments. So in Australia, anything above $1,000, you can't pay with cash. So, and in the US there's another limit, and then in Europe there's another limit. So in Australia it's anything above $1,000 you cannot pay with cash.
I agree completely, because like I work in hospitality and I know how hard it is for us because we get cash all the time, and it's a risk, you know. You don't know where the cash has been.
That's interesting, because y'all get the card, right? Y'all take the card from them and then you do the pin and they do that. So isn't that the same thing?
But still, most people do tend to give cash. Talking about things changing, right? Did you hear what happened to Ellen DeGeneres?
I heard something. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that you're going to tell me now.
So Ellen DeGeneres, I'm going to tell you. What are you doing, bro? Like, honestly, right? You have to get with the new stuff that is going on, okay? Like,
I haven't been getting the news.
So Ellen DeGeneres, right? So you know how she is known to be one of the most caring, nicest people.
She kind of lost her way through this corona thing, no, with her social media posts.
What social media post?
Like the first talking about being stuck inside the jail, feels like you're stuck in jail.
Yeah. So exactly. So you know about it. So what happened was, right? Yeah. So it first started with Dakota Johnson's interview. Right? Did you watch that? Like, Dakota talks about how
she was not
Ellen
invited.
Asked Dakota, she was not invited for her birthday, and Dakota said, "Now you were invited." So do you know what actually happened? Apparently, Ellen was at a football game with the former president Bush. Ape Bush අයියා. එයාත් එක්ක football game එකක හිටියලු හරිද? So you know, Bush is very controversial. Bush is a very controversial character, right? He's honestly, he's not a really good person. So Ellen being standing for this whole kindness and Bush, I'm telling you what exactly happened, right? So this is serious talk. So Bush is not liked with most of the people, like, because of what he did. So what happened was Ellen, so after this post, after it went viral, you know, people started reacting on Twitter because of the whole Dakota Johnson issue, where she says, no, I invited you, but then Ellen says, if I got invited to the party, why wouldn't I come? And like, who doesn't like going to a party? But then this whole thing went around where she was with Bush, and like, you know, she was showing off in a selfie camera kind of thing.
Okay.
But then what happened was, so after this went around, Ellen started her show the next week and explained what actually happened. She was like, because, and like, do you remember, like, when Ellen came out, like, Bush was against gay communities and all, like, you know, Bush was against it. So people were wondering, why is Ellen hanging out with this douche, you know, and all that. But Ellen says, when I say be kind, it doesn't mean like, you know, it doesn't mean that I have to be, it doesn't mean like I'm not kind to people who are not nice to me. And then to that post, that's where it started going really bad, right? Let me say, so it started going really bad because I have notes on it because I wrote exactly what happened, right? Mark Ruffalo reacted to her saying that on Twitter and wrote saying, well, it's not that, you know, there are people who are nice and not nice. And then he wrote this whole paragraph about Bush and how he attacked innocent people and all that and stuff. So then there was a guy called Kevin Porter tweet. I don't know if you know him. Kevin Porter tweet. All right. Not Kevin Porter tweet. That is just funny, bro. It's Kevin Porter only because I wrote it saying Kevin Porter tweet, which means Twitter. So it's just Kevin Porter.
Oh, you wrote
Kevin
it.
Porter.
Yeah,
that's funny. No. So his name is Kevin Porter.
Yeah.
So he wrote a tweet. He wrote a Twitter status saying. So he wrote a status saying, if anyone has insane stories about Ellen being mean, please comment underneath this, and every story that I hear, I will match that with $2 to one of the charities that he was doing. Right? So that's when it started going insane. So one of these ladies wrote a story first. That was the most viral story. Wrote a story about how Ellen fired like someone, an employee of hers. Like so, Ellen. So what happened was one of her employees didn't come to work. Apparently, she was having a baby, and she didn't come to work. And Ellen begged for her to come to work, and she didn't turn up. But Ellen begged for her to come to work, and she came to work. And 2 weeks later, Ellen fired her. Alright, so that's one of the stories. So this was written by one of the friends of the friend of the person, the employee.
Okay.
And then there are so many other stories like that. So Ellen kind of like, people started reacting to this stuff, and then people started telling more stories about Ellen. And then this whole thing happened where after quarantine, she was saying how she feels like she's in jail. When she was living in like one of the most fanciest houses in the world, still making money, making videos on YouTube and stuff. So that kind of, pushed it to the edge where, she kind of lost her image as the nice person. I mean, I don't think she has lost it. It's just that everybody's struggling with COVID on their own ways.
A lot of people a lot of celebrities, especially like the real A-listers, have come out and like acted like real idiots. Especially from that Gal Gadot singing thing and then the Ellen thing, it shows that they are far removed from the real world. Like they don't understand what's going on in like normal people's world.
That the problem is like I don't think anyone should be hating on anyone at this time anyway. But like
it's not hate; it's just understanding complete stupidity. Like okay, we talk about someone, and even if it's a friend, we would tell if they're doing something stupid, we would we tell them like straight up, say okay, don't do that. That's pretty stupid. Like these are celebrities; they have PR people around them. They have a lot of people around them that tells them how to do, what to do, and all of them, and they still do this kind of stuff in a situation like this. It's pretty
chugging tea.
Yeah, it's arrogant. Like they don't understand. They should understand. Like there are some people, some celebrities who are doing like really good stuff, and then there are these people who are like really doing absolutely stupid stuff.
Yeah, but like it's just. I mean, for me, I feel like everyone's dealing with COVID-19 and being quarantined in their own way, and no one should judge of how people should be doing.
No, I'm completely judging. I'm completely judging.
No, I mean, I get it. It's wrong. It's
if
wrong
you
to
watch
show
that
that
video,
like,
if you watch that, I think you haven't watched that video. If you watch that video, bro, you'll understand how cringe it is. Trying to imagine this.
Anyway, that's basically what we wanted to talk about today. How COVID-19 has changed a lot in the world, and like how it's gonna keep changing.
Yeah.
And
dude,
I had more points.
Today, so I went to the city after like 2 months. You know the reason why I went.
Because you didn't tell me.
Yeah, so recently, Aki kind of made me self-conscious about something. Okay, she said that
you've been self-conscious about a lot of things too.
Not really, not him. So she said, "Mage pitipassen konde yana kiyala."
You're kidding me.
Yeah, and she kept on saying it, and I was like, okay, I need to go check this out, kidda. So I went to. So there's obviously like hair doctors and all of them who give like a hair fix.
Hold on.
You this is what I want to talk.
You do a what?
Like those people who fixes balding people. What do you call hair doctors, right?
Oh no, I'm never letting this go. By the way, I'm just saying, you went
yeah.
to a hair doctor.
Yeah, I'm open about. Listen to the story, will you? Okay. Ashley and Martin. Yeah, I forgot the name. Ashley and Martin. You've probably heard about it. I
was gonna judge the first person who was gonna go for that. Oh my god.
So listen to this, okay? So I was conscious, so I just wanted to get it out of my system to see whether
You have to be proud about being bald, bro.
bald.
You have to be proud about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I was.
Don't be proud
I told Aki.
Accept it.
I told Aki
You don't
this
need to
as well.
fix it.
Shut up. I told Aki this as well. I'm okay to be bald, okay? So I went there. Just
Is
wanted.
that why you went there? Huh?
Yeah. Just wanted to see whether if they're actually like if I'm actually losing hair and all of that. So I went there and I had an appointment.
My god.
And like it's more like they give more support, okay?
I'm so glad this is recording right now.
They give amazing support, like the best support clinic doctors places I've ever seen.
Of course.
Because they call like
sure.
4 times. They call 4
Of
5
course.
times asking, whether you're coming, do you want to talk about it, do you want anyone else knowing about it and all of that. They ask. And when you go there, you have to fill a form as well, saying, okay, how long have you been conscious about it? When did you start realizing that you were losing hair? So I honestly never thought about it, and nobody had told me. Like even you haven't ever told me that I was losing hair. No? So I didn't know
I
what
have
to
told
write.
you that you were gonna be the first person in our family to go.
So that even that was running on my mind, right? So I wrote everything, all of those, and then they have pictures. Okay, I'm being open here. So then they have pictures, right? So they have pictures of our just Isra විතරක් යන ඊට පස්සේ නැත්තම් full මැද වටකෙස් මැද හිස් ඔක්කොම pictures තියෙනවා. So you have to select which one do you think you are කියන එක. හරිද? So even then when I looked at it, I was not really sure. So I selected like 2 pictures and said this must be me and this must be me in like 2 years. And then I wrote everything, and then they asked like, do you have someone in your family who was losing hair and all of that? So I put that.
I feel like this place is complete horse shit and they're making up stuff.
No, dude. Why would I make up this? I'm being serious.
I don't know, not you're making up stuff. I think you got caught to a scam again.
Dude, Ashley and Martin is like patta reputed. Honestly, like they do ads. Yeah.
No.
It's a quality place. Like the floor is shining.
Yeah, because that's how we judge places. Right?
Yeah, mop karla thina.
Oh my god.
So okay, so then I went out to the appointment, and the doctor came out, and I went inside. He was like, okay, he sat down.
Was he wearing a white suit or like? Did he have good hair?
He had good hair. I was worried about that. If he hasn't had good hair, then that was a problem. He had very good hair. But okay, so he had a chat with me. He was like, how are you? Who mentioned about Ashley and Martin and all of that? And I said, I watched an ad on the TV. And
wait, did you have to pay for this?
No, it was free consultation. The first one is free. So then they talk about what exactly you need to do, whether you give the medication or do you do the program or do you do, Rogaine or whatever shit. And then he went through all my like things I have written, and then he looked at me and said, son, I don't mean to be rude, but why the hell are you here? Can't you see that you have... So I was like, I knew I was going to get embarrassed one way or another, because I thought, okay, if he said I was losing hair, then I would be really embarrassed as well. But I didn't expect to be embarrassed from a compliment. Son, you have really good hair. And then he was like, okay, but I'll take pictures so that you'll never have to be conscious again. So they do the normal thing. So they have a DSLR camera. They go and they take pictures from the top to the side, the bottom, and they tell me to look down and do it's like a dental thing, okay? And they do the whole thing. And then he's like, look. When
you go to the dentist, they tell you to look down?
No.
I don't think you're going to the right dentist.
No, dumbass. I'm saying they take pictures, right? Just to make sure that they cover everything. So they do the same thing with the hair. They check that it's all that, they cover all the areas. So he was like, dude, look here. Look at all the pictures. You don't have any problem. You don't really have to come here again. If there's any if you actually find that you're losing hair, maybe down the line in 3-4 years time, then you come. But please don't come and just get carried into something like this. So that's when I realized it wasn't a scam. I was worried as well, like until that point when he said. Otherwise, he was like, it costs like $2,000 for the whole thing per year, and I was like, hey, hell no, I'm not even coming in 3 years. I'm out.
Dude, I've noticed something. I think one of your ears is bigger than the other one. I think you should like really take a look at it. Like, you know, this is going to be a serious problem.
Ear doctor.
Yeah, you need to fix that.
My
An
ear?
ear doctor, exactly. Yeah, because like, you know, like I think you should be conscious about that fact a bit.
No, fuck you, man.
I can't believe you traveled all the way to the city for a hair appointment.
I was open about this, okay? No one will be open
Oh
about
my
this.
god. Anyway, that's the end of the show. After very interesting, because I have to talk about this with him more after this. That's it from us today. It's been a long but good conversation again.
But
Hope you
what are
enjoyed
your
it.
thoughts?
Thank you. I'll tell you it afterwards. Let me finish this, okay?
Why not?
Thank you for
You tell it on
thank you for calling. Thank you for watching the She Twins show. I'm Chanura and that is Menura. Until next time.
Bye.
Chai Leva.
Bye.